well. We talked so much about goal scoring in the Open. They're going to need goals, and Vidal's capable of getting them as well.
First-year Hokie out of Barcelona, Spain, the graduate student trying to make an impact for the Hokies, who are dressed in maroon, Mercer in the white, and we are underway here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech goalless, and it comes with no goals, just a few draws on the year, a couple of losses actually, and a draw against Radford. Hokies had a tough trip out to the West Coast, played against Grand Canyon, lost that 1-0, and the same to be said against the top 25 UCLA team. But with that, Ben Martino has played so well in the goal for Virginia Tech, the sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Mike Brizendine, very impressed with him still. Here's Vidal. And the defense catching up for Mercer. It'll be a Hokies throw-in.
Early opportunity there just to look for the long ball, see if you can get something sparked. And the shape for the Hokies always keeps us guessing, right? Coach Briz never lines up exactly how you think the team might line up. Pugh and Vidal are both playing a little more central. Thought Vidal might be on the wing, but, you know, like I said, always keeping us guessing.
Here's Grant Howard sliding it up to Pugh. Solid move for Pugh. Right footer. Blasted wide. And it will be a corner kick. So Yoshizawa will take the corner, the freshman from Japan for the Hokies. Looking for a head. And Blacklock trying to chase it down now. McDowell lofts the ball in. Finally picked up by Trevor McMullen, but the Hokies pressing on early against the Mercer Bears. All right, it's everybody's favorite part. Here's the Browns basics. Josh, what do you have for Mercer?
At the very least, it's my favorite part. Mercer is going to have to play on the transition quickly. We know Virginia Tech will possess in this game. It's up to Mercer to get on the break quickly when they turn the ball over, and then they've got to play with grit and tenacity. In these types of conditions, the ball's going to hold up, it's going to skip a little weird. Go ahead and get stuck into some challenges.
On the other side for Virginia Tech.
For Tech, I put it in all caps for a reason. They need to score.
Well, breaking into the box, no foul call, and Martino just has to belly flop on it for the Hokies. A threatening moment there for the Bears. But finish out your basic, Josh.
Yeah, that was a gritty play to start off, so we're seeing it already. Not only do they need to score, on the defensive end, Virginia Tech really needs to watch out on set pieces. This Mercer team has some big bodies they can bring from the back, and they've been threatening on set pieces. In fact, one of the goals, the goal against Georgia State that they scored was one of their center backs getting on the score sheet and scoring the goal. It was Chad Eldridge. He can come up on corners and is very dangerous on headers.
Mercer coming off of a 1-1 draw against NC State. Moving forward for Mercer. It's Jabang out on the wing, and a whistle blown. A bit of a shove there. Free kick, Virginia Tech. He's trying to make another campaign for the NCAA tournament, headed by head coach Mike Brizendine. As Martino sizes up to try to clear this one out. And towards the touchline. Both of these teams making the NCAA tournament in 2021. Virginia Tech got to the second round, beat Campbell here at Thompson Field before losing in penalty kicks. And well, those penalty kicks for Virginia Tech have been heartbreakers over the last couple of years. Made it to the Sweet 16 2 years ago in the COVID-laden tournament of 2021, the earlier one. Because remember, that tournament went from 2020 to 2021. That whole season, Virginia Tech was eliminated by penalty kicks by Seton Hall at that time as well.
What a job he's done with this club to get them to tournaments so often. It's absolutely incredible. That's 6 straight NCAA tourney appearances. Only 5 other teams can say that. Only 5 other teams have made the tournament that often, 6 years straight.
For Mercer, they've won 4 Southern Conference championships since 2016. I think that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. Virginia Tech has such a tough slate to start out the year. Even the teams that come from the smaller conferences, I mean, Mercer's a team that gets to the NCAA tournament regularly, and the Hokies have them before ACC play even starts.
And it seems like Mercer has continued to build upon that success and make those games in that first round of the NCAA tournament ever closer and ever closer. Last year against Wake Forest, a 2-1 loss for them. Really great game that they played, and it's just getting over that hump. You feel like once you get past that first round, you're capable of doing it again and again.
There's Grant Howard near the touchline, the freshman from Georgia. There's Gaither for Mercer. Hampton trying to chip the ball forward. Hamilton Jr. and Danny Flores, a guy we have not mentioned yet for Virginia Tech, was a freshman phenom for the Hokies last year. Still a vital part of that midfield here in his second year on campus. A throw-in for the Hokies deep in the attacking third.
Flores, like Danny Pereira, someone who plays in the center of midfield, can get up and down, but the technical ability is without a doubt as well.
There's Flores again, heading it back to McDowell. Eyeing across, and snagged by McMullen. There's the junior from Decatur, Georgia, and Trevor McMullen, coming off of just giving up 1 goal against NC State. Flores turns the ball back for Jack Deary. There's a name that we talked about with Mike Brizendine, and Jack Deary, a guy who has played in every minute of this year of 2022, and last year, despite all of the playing time he has this year, not play as much, as that'll be another corner.
Sometimes it's about stepping up when it's your opportunity, and that's certainly the case. There were big players to replace in that back line, and we've already talked about the forward line, and Jack Deary found his opportunity. Didn't get a ton of time just because of how many minutes those center backs soaked up over the past 2 years, and now it's his time to shine, and he's done really well anchoring that center back line.
Steps into the box here for a corner. It'll be Blacklock trying to bend it in for the Hokies. Eyeing ahead, Welnelton! That's over the crossbar. And they will reset for another corner for Virginia Tech.
Welnelton for a center back, 6'1". Sometimes you're thinking, oh, Deary will get up there. Deary's 6'5", a little bit more height.
Welnelton again connected with that one, Josh, as well. Yoshizawa able to find it in the corner. Wow, what a nifty move there for the midfielder. Another corner for Virginia Tech.
The little pullback and heel. Welnelton's timing on these headers is so good. He's great at timing it. He's got great ups as well.
Up in the air, looking for Blacklock again. Instead, it rolls out for Mercer, so a solid job done by the Bears defense there. 3 corners for Virginia Tech, no goals to show for it. As the rain continues to fly down here in Blacksburg.
This game so far going to the script we imagined when we were preparing for this game. Virginia Tech settling down, playing possession. It's all about moving it in the right spots to try and get into the attacking third.
Ambitious pass up for Connor Pugh. Throw in Mercer. Brad Ruzzo in his 15th season as the head coach for the Mercer Bears. He's done a great job down in Macon, Georgia. 4 NCAA tournament appearances to go along with those SoCon championships he's won as well.
He's a great coach to talk to during the pregame chat with him.
Net is open. That's a goal! Oh my goodness, Mercer has taken the lead from midfield. Dylan Gaither. Wow! Martino is out of net and it fell in the back.
The optimism to try it from that distance, to just pick your head up and say, why not from here? That's a few steps past midfield, and just leaned back on it and drove it. That's an incredible goal from Dylan Gaither. Oh, perfectly nestled in. He almost hit the back of the net from midfield.
Wow. And Virginia Tech stunned. And that's just optimistic for Gaither. He said, you know, I'll probably just try this, see if it works out, but drilled the goal.
Martino way off his line, and really the only thing you can say he did wrong is he didn't clear it up and out. It was on the ground, which allowed it, and it was in play, which allowed Gaither to gather it and take that touch and then look up. But take nothing away from the strike there. That was perfectly shot. Even if Martino was, even if he was in the goal, that would have been a difficult one to save.
And if you're Mike Brizendine there, I mean, what do you say? What did the Hokies do wrong here, Josh?
Oh, I just need to watch that
Whoa.
drop in. I mean, what a drive. Incredible. And I think the only thing that you can say as you look at that one, there was a miscommunication on the long ball. They kind of let it drift back there. Martino had to come off his line. Maybe the center back takes it instead. And if you're Martino, you're probably thinking, man, I should have just cleared that out of play. I shouldn't have even given it a chance. But that's all hindsight, right? Dylan Gaither with the confidence. The number 10 getting it done for his team.
Second goal of the year for Gaither. And the Hokies equalize. There's a cross. Blacklock. Trying to turn around, lost the ball. Flores recollects for the Hokies.
Well, Coach Russo was telling us on the coach's call that Gaither is an excellent striker of the ball. And he actually praised a lot of his work on the defensive end. But he was like, without a doubt, the talent is there.
Yoshizawa for Pugh! And saved. McMullen fell on it, but that was a beautiful feed.
Right idea there on that one. Yoshi, as they call him, on Virginia Tech, swinging it in. Nice curled ball. And if you put it down at the ground, like you see there, there's a rebound opportunity. Right idea there from Pugh.
Hokies just thinking something has to give eventually. Wow, here come the Bears again. Dow clears the ball away, but it will be a Mercer throw-in. Just now joining us, Gaither scored from midfield for Mercer. Give the Bears a 1-0 lead. Hokies moments ago almost tied it right up off of the head of Pugh. That for Virginia Tech, it's been since the second round of the NCAA tournament since they scored a goal. Remember, we had already said in Morgantown, that's where Hokies dropped a penalty kicks heartbreaker. As the Mountaineers stamped a ticket to the Sweet 16. And you saw who scored that goal for Virginia Tech and Jacob Lapovitz, the Hokies losing their leading goal scorer from a season ago, and that absence really has been felt here in the first 3 games. Off the left foot, the deflection could have proved dastardly for the Hokies. Instead, it will be a corner.
There is certainly going to be a look for the replacement for the goals that they've had the past few seasons throughout the rest of this year. And for me, it really has to happen soon. Otherwise, you're going to be really struggling to find that confidence in your strikers. It just gnaws at you and gnaws at you.
Gaither with a corner. Another try. Beautiful ball, and Martino steps up to snag it. It's the 6'6" sophomore from Pittsburgh who has been so strong for Virginia Tech. Now, lots of soccer left to be played, but you think if that ends up being such a difference in this game, that goal from midfield, that's going to haunt the Hokies for quite a while.
I think the positive you take from it is now you really have to score. You're down 1. I think the team's going to push even harder for that goal.
Blacklock fell down, no call. Yoshizawa. Other cross. Vidal. Off the head, and now a goal kick for McMullen.
Vidal in there. Yoshizawa that time drifting all the way over to the left side, getting the ball and putting it into the mix. He's looked really good so far in this one. Lively, driving at the defense, trying something. He's got some good skills, Yoshizawa.
And the Hokies certainly are high on the freshman. Came from a great academy down in Florida, the Montverde Academy, which has been really a funnel for Virginia Tech. Between him and Wellington Jr. Yoshizawa stepping up in that midfield role in his first year of collegiate soccer and making those adjustments. And you've already seen here he's been a part of a couple of big plays for the Hokies that were so close to being able to give Virginia Tech the 1-0 lead or tying it up at 1-1. There's Deary. Going to the ground, no call. Pondeka took the ball right back for Mercer. Hampton runs out of room. Hokies throw in. Grant Howard playing against a couple of guys on this team for Mercer that were in the same academy, the youth academy that he was in growing up in Atlanta United.
There are so many players from the Atlanta area. Obviously, the proximity makes it easier to recruit.
Another try. That was a beautiful strike. It'll be a goal kick, though, for the Hokies.
Good strike there from Kim. The other area where they recruit from is Dallas, and he's an FC Dallas Academy player as well. Two really great clubs to recruit from, Atlanta United and FC Dallas. They churn out professional and collegiate players unlike almost any other Major League Soccer team that you can think of. And that proximity to Atlanta means you're going to have so many talented players, whether it's from Atlanta United or other teams in that area. The talent is undeniable, and we've seen it on display here. Gaither, one of those players who played at Atlanta United, going right at his opponent, Howard, who played there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Howard has played with a lot of these guys in his time in the academy and youth system.
We talked about some domestic players. Here is Kyle McDowell, the senior from West Sussex, England. Trying to get a clarification as to why there is such a long pause in play. The pause just for a moment. We are resuming with soccer here in Blacksburg. Yoshizawa trying to create space. Here's Howard. The ball into the box. Got a piece of it for Mercer. Blacklock trying to feed inside, and it's gobbled up by McMullen. So almost 20 minutes elapsed here in the first half. Still 1-0 Mercer off of the banger from midfield from Gaither.
If you're for Virginia Tech right now, you just have to wonder where the goal will come from. It seems like the crosses into the box just haven't quite been on so far.
Blacklock cutting. Comes Flores. It seemed like for Virginia Tech there's just a split moment of momentum and outnumbering Mercer in just a moment's notice. That defense for the Bears is right back and with a heck of a play there.
I think the goal, if it comes for Virginia Tech, is going to come from this wide area, whether off a set piece or in the run of play. Get it out to your wingers, cross something into the box.
There's a header. And now a goal kick, so yet another corner for the Hokies. Blacklock thought he was sizing up for another corner kick there, and instead it will go to McMullen.
Looks like Vidal driving up into the box there on the corner kick and getting a little flick to it off of his head.
So another corner for the Hokies without a goal. And what do you think the defense is doing right for Mercer, Josh? Because the point we were getting into there, Virginia Tech has looked fast. Yoshizawa's done a great job of finding some open passes into the box, but that defense for the Bears has made it tough for them.
They haven't allowed anything in the middle of the field very easily. Hokies will get to right outside of the top of the 18, but there's enough bodies in the way. There's no shot to attempt. There's no through ball attempts that are going to be easy. They've really had to work it to the wings. And when they get it there, the crosses just haven't been on today. The forwards haven't gotten their heads to it, except for the one from Pugh. I think that's where it's going to come from for Virginia Tech, but you have to connect it. And you can draw up as much as you want with formation, the way you move the ball. Sometimes it's just down to the players finishing one off.
Long move up for Gaither. Gaither caught up to it. It bounces wide for Martino.
Miscommunication there. Deary and Howard were both looking at that ball as it came through, and it looked like Howard pulled off of it. He thought Deary was going to come and get it, and that was almost another disastrous moment back there.
Jabang. Comes McDowell. Blacklock makes a move. It'll be a corner kick for Virginia Tech, another one. Fifth corner coming up for the Hokies, or maybe the sixth actually. The sixth corner. There's been 5 previously. Trying to find a head. It's Vidal. McDowell. Blacklock. Off the deflection. Hokies want a handball. They will get it. So looking for a confirmation of the call here. Mercer beside themselves. Who's going to take this for Virginia Tech?
Blacklock with the service in, just trying to make something happen. I don't know about that one. From that angle, it certainly looked like stomach or chest. It could have flicked up into the hand there, but from the referee's angle, you see the ball deflect in some way. And if you're the Hokies, this is it. This is where you need to put the ball away. We'll see if Flores can do it.
Danny Flores trying to score the first goal of the season for Virginia Tech, and he put it past McMullen. Off of the handball. Flores scores for the Hokies. Virginia Tech able to equalize off of the handball. And now the monkey is off of their back, Josh. It's knotted up at 1-1.
Getting that first one is going to mean a world of difference for this team. And you have a talented player that stepped up. Only 1 goal last year for Flores. You can tell they're confident in him, though. Still a young player, a lot of years left to play. And, hey, go and get your dance on in the corner.
Give it to Trevor McMullen. Pick the right side. He almost saved that.
Almost there.
So first goal of the season for Danny Flores. First goal of the season for the Hokies overall. Coach McSorley and Coach Brizendine looking on for Virginia Tech. Finally on the board here in 2022. Whistle blows. Big free kick coming up for Mercer. Let's get another look at the call that led to the penalty kick. That was pretty close, at least from without it being slowed down. That looked pretty confidently a handball.
From that angle, you could tell he kind of flinched back when that ball hit him. Extremely possible. The other angle, his back was turned. I was a little unsure whether that was a handball or not.
Mercer trying to take the lead here and booted away by Welnelton Jr. Get another look at this. Off of the feed in from Blacklock.
Wow, yeah, that's such a tough call, and especially at speed when we saw it, it looks like a handball at full speed.
Chipped in the air and down the hill here at Thompson Field. So that's a big call, and Virginia Tech, a team that finally is able to end that scoreless drought. That was almost 360 consecutive minutes without a goal. And I think what goes along with how tough that really is just knowing how talented Virginia Tech is as a program.
That is almost 4 full games of soccer without scoring a goal. It wears on you. It makes you think, we're out here, we know we're talented. We know we have players that can strike the ball really well. How is the ball not going in? You just get more and more demoralized. And thankfully, they get on the score sheet here. And it's good to see Mercer score early as well in this one. I think both teams really can take some good pointers from this game in the first 20 minutes.
The dangerous there is Martino tries to boot the ball up for Pugh. Deary. Hampton on the chase for Mercer. Throw in Virginia Tech. Hokies found themselves down early after the midfield goal for Gaither. And then the handball, Virginia Tech able to capitalize on the penalty kick courtesy Flores. What a dish from Gaither.
Great attempt there. We feel it settle into that familiar rhythm now. Tech is going to possess, move the ball where they can, and look for the right opportunities to attack. Mercer has looked extremely dangerous on these counterattacks, though. When they get a chance to break, those forwards and wing players are really, they're tough to handle up there. Kadeem Agard, the center forward, he's physical.
Hensley threads the ball out for Howard. Flores. Blacklock now. McDowell with a chance. The Hokies pounding on the pressure here. Nifty pass back for Blacklock. Carter Hensley. Almost a dastardly turnover for Virginia Tech, and the Hokies reset. Oh, what a pass. Josh McDowell wide open.
Absolute dime on the switch of play. When you have a center back that can do that, it opens up so much.
Looking for Pugh! And a goal kick.
if you talk about players dropping dimes, I mean, you can't leave Dylan Gaither out of that equation. And I go back to that goal and how many goals he scores for this Mercer team. Absolutely incredible. And that time, Pugh had the opportunity, and that all comes from that switched play across the field from Deary, the center back. When you have one of your center backs who isn't afraid of playing that ball angled all the way across the field, it really helps things for your team. And you can see it opened up a whole nother avenue of attack for them. And Mercer not quick enough to get over there to prevent the cross.
Throw in for Virginia Tech. There is Dylan Gaither, who had that goal earlier on in this game, but it went along with 14 goals from last year.
14 goals, 5 assists. He takes set pieces for this Mercer team as well. The goal and the run of play, one of the best I've seen this season in any game that I've watched from almost midfield. And his technical ability it's right up there with any player in the country that plays on the wing. Just the ability to serve balls in, make goals happen. He really has it all. And he helps his team tracking back on defense too. Not afraid to get stuck in and help out there.
And Yafo comes in for Mercer. On the other side for Virginia Tech, William Cardona in. Getting tangled up there. And it will be a free kick for the Hokies.
That whole play was a little bit weird. Vidal came in. It looked like maybe a studs-up challenge. Oof. And then Arteaga falling on him as well. Oh, yeah, a little boot to the face there. No cards given. I agree with that. There was nothing intentional there. Not trying to put the foot in. That's just one of those crazy plays that happens over the course of a game.
Hokies played an extremely physical matchup against Radford a few days ago. That was a game in which saw 7 yellow cards. Yoshizawa tried to keep going. Free kick for the Hokies. Quickly taken. Comes Howard. Yoshizawa. A long touch. What a goal! Yoshizawa, his first goal in a Virginia Tech uniform. And the Hokies have taken the lead.
Brilliantly worked goal there, coming all the way from the right wing and cutting in and cutting in. Flores with a nice touch, but it's all down to Yoshizawa. That long touch almost got away from him, somehow stays with it and keeps it on the ground to the side netting. That's beautiful. What a finish. And like we said, that first one gives you that confidence, and now you feel like you can start scoring goals from everybody on the field. Good for Yoshizawa, getting his first goal in his Virginia Tech career.
Guy they have been so high on this program, thinking that Yoshizawa could be the next big guy in the midfield for Virginia Tech. And look at the excitement that went along with that goal. You just think for Yoshizawa, what a journey. Growing up in Tokyo, Japan, comes to America to develop his soccer skills, and now trying to not only adjust to the culture of a new country, but the culture of collegiate soccer. And that's something that Mike Brizendine has said about this team, with a couple of international players adjusting to what collegiate soccer is in the United States as opposed to the international model. These guys are playing a lot more soccer in such a condensed amount of time than they're probably used to.
We talked about it off air before the game started. International players play less games in the course of a week. They just don't play as much in such a condensed schedule as the collegiate game in America. So there's an adjustment there. There's more training, less games over internationally, and you've got to get used to kind of the grind of the American game. And especially a lot of players that come out of Japan are more technical. They're a little faster, usually not as physical, and we definitely see that with Yoshi. He is a little bit smaller, extremely technical player, you've got to get used to taking your knocks at a collegiate American level. Let me tell you, some of those center backs are like two of Yoshi stacked together.
So Yoshizawa goes out. Naola Kenyua comes in, another talented man in the midfield for Virginia Tech. Kenyua, who is part of the All-ACC preseason team, was an All-ACC third-team selection in 2021. There's Declan Quill. So back for Martino now. I can just tell what this has done for the confidence of Virginia Tech. Not scoring in almost 4 complete games, and now getting a couple of goals here and leading in the first half after such a stunner from midfield for Dylan Gaither and Mercer. But on that same note, the Bears have a ton of talent to make this still a very competitive matchup.
Absolutely. You cannot sleep on this Mercer team. They are able to break on you fast, and they have a ton of American talent to combat some of the international talent they're going against in Virginia Tech.
So the Hokies adjusting to the American collegiate style. A lot of them able to do that over the last few years. Yoshizawa, who just scored, a freshman, Ricky Vidal, a grad student for the Hokies. Both of them in their first year in NCAA soccer. I think what was impressive about that goal, Josh, that long touch, it looked like he had lost control with how far that ball was going away from him, still gathered enough composure to slot that on the left side of the net.
Right. When I first was watching the play, I thought that touch got away from him. The speed to catch up to it, and then the composure to take that finish, just keeping it low and putting it in the back of the net. The international players that Virginia Tech has been able to pull in, they're the right type of players for this program. I think that's the key. It doesn't really matter whether you're recruiting internationally or whether you're getting kids from your backyard. In the case of Mercer, so many of them come from Georgia. Pretty much the entire roster. There's a few exceptions, but a lot of Georgia talent. As long as they're fitting your program and are the right kids for you, it really doesn't matter where they come from.
That was another excellent pass from Deary up to McDowell. Kenyua. Hensley threw up an arm.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. It's like he was...
I'm going to catch it.
He was trying the Odell Beckham on the sideline.
I'd have been impressive, but super illegal.
Beckham wears 13 as well, right?
Right.
He's trying to emulate. This is a surprise to me to see up top another international player for Virginia Tech, and the brother of a player who came through here who played center back, one of the Haugleys up top.
Yeah, Sievert Haugley was such a strong player for Virginia Tech, and you can talk about Labovitz being a gigantic loss for the Hokies. Sievert Haugley was seemingly here for 15 years and was such a talented player for Virginia Tech.
Oscar Haugley hasn't seen minutes this year. That's the thing that's really throwing me off as well. Haven't seen him touch the field yet, and now playing center forward.
Here's Declan Quill, the cross. Back for Vidal. McDowell hammers one. Be a goal kick coming up. McDowell thought, why not?
Others are getting on the score sheet. I might as well. McDowell had a great season last year. 2 goals, 8 assists. A player who's great at crossing the ball in, but if you give him a little bit of space, he can hammer it from out there.
Senior from West Sussex, England. Rarely leaves the pitch for Virginia Tech. Looking for Haugley again.
And I have to go back to how interesting it is that Haugley's playing up top. He's listed on the roster as a defender. We know Sievert played center back, and yet he's playing as the center forward. I think there's a strategy here with as wet, with the conditions, with the way this game is played, to play a little long ball to Oscar Haugley. And there you see Sievert, his brother. I mean, like you said, it felt like he had been playing here forever. And he was a stalwart. He was so much fun to watch. One of those center backs that could get up into the attack from time to time as well. So I wonder if Oscar's a similar type player.
Weldleton Jr. Now getting the confirmation before the matchup what Weldleton would prefer to be called. You see the Americanized way, you assume Weldleton da Silva being his last name, but part of the Brazilian culture, think Neymar, think Ronaldo. Just Weldleton Jr. On the ground. Flores came storming in, but it'll be a throw-in for Virginia Tech.
The possession for Virginia Tech all in the attacking half now. Something that's got to please you if you're Coach Brizendine, seeing the team just zip the ball around a little bit. Been extremely impressed with Deary as well, with his distribution from the back. You've mentioned it a couple of times, the long ball switching the point of attack.
Those Flores, Declan Quill, Hensley. Comes Hensley trying to size up the opponents here. Howard. Punched away. Solid effort there from William Pundeka. We talked about Haugley being a stalwart. Pundeka certainly has been one for Mercer in the first 2 years of his college career.
The type of player that can go all 90 for you when called upon. He is up and down that line.
Long throw in. See if McDowell tries again. That's right back into his face. Now with the rain pounding down, what do you think that does to the strategy of this matchup? Whistle blows. Free kick for the Hokies.
For Virginia Tech, I haven't seen too much of a stylistic change. It does allow you to go in like this. I'm not sure he caught the player there, but the fact that you go in with a sliding challenge, the ball's already well away. Pretty easy free kick call, in my opinion.
The speed for McDowell. Cardona lost his footing. What can Mercer do in transition? Those transitional plays were threatening early. Arteaga, leading goal scorer this year for Mercer, now draws a foul to be a free kick coming up for the Bears.
Those are the types of opportunities where they've got to put the pedal to the metal and try and drive forward with a few of their attacking players.
5 fouls for the Bears, and a first one for Virginia Tech. That's Kenyua.
Just a really awkward challenge there. I think he was tripped up initially and then kept falling through, and sometimes that sort of thing happens. But now set pieces, this is something we noted as a key area for Virginia Tech defensively. Mercer has some really good headers of the ball.
Arteaga searching for a head. That's over the net, but the flag came up anyway.
And I believe that that was, once again, Ousmane Jabang getting in there. Seems like he is everywhere on the pitch.
It was him. The flag was up, though.
He really is the type of player. Coach Rouzeau was talking about how he doesn't think that Ousmane gets the publicity that he probably should. And I agree with him. That is a player that is all over the field. It's extremely impressive to watch him play. Good technical player. And, of course, physicality, unquestioned.
Flores flying through the air, no whistle. Howard. He lost his footing as well. Officials letting them play on. Lots of bumping around out there as Declan Quill tried to thread the ball loose.
It's gotten a little bit more physical here in the last few minutes.
4 minutes left to go in this first half. Hokies fell down early after the midfield goal from Gaither. A handball in the box allowed Flores to score the first goal of the year for Virginia Tech. And then Misei Yoshizawa taking the lead for the Hokies. McDowell draws a whistle. Here comes a big free kick for Virginia Tech.
What a ball from Welnilton Jr. there. He put that on a dime, and McDowell got his body in the way. Excellent shielding there. A guard, no choice but to put a little shoulder into him and give away the foul.
That's the sophomore from Snellville, Georgia.
And the quality of service from these players. You've got Flores. We've seen Yoshizawa take them from the other side of the field. McDowell can take them as well. Flores scored the penalty. We'll see how the set piece looks for him.
Cardona lining up close in the 6 here. Confidently headed away by Mercer. Kenyu with a long-range shot. Goal kick for Mercer.
Not a bad effort at all. Almost was able to curl that and dip it down. I like that type of strike. That's not something we always see from Kenyu, the strike from that distance. He likes to get it down, pass it to his teammates, and open some things up. And one of these players that you look at the stat sheet, see a ton of games played, but then as sort of a casual fan, you might look at it and say, well, why is he playing that much? He only had 1 assist last year. He hasn't scored or gotten any assists this year. He's the type of player that sits right in behind your center mids, right in front of your center backs, and is able to dictate the game for you. He can really dictate the pace with his passes. And he's defensively a dynamo, just gets stuck in and can be anywhere to cover up for mistakes for his team.
Yeah, coming off of the bench in this game as well. Yoshizawa got the start. Kenyu came in. Under a minute and a half left to go in this first half of a very entertaining matchup between the Bears and the Hokies. Long whip in close to the box. Artiega looking for space. Went back to him. Deary physically getting in the way. No whistle, and a call for a goal kick for Virginia Tech.
That's a big hubbub there in the box. A lot of bodies to get across, get to the ball. Mercer almost creating a little havoc there to end this half.
That was Illy trying to sprint forward for the Bears. Final 30 seconds. Haugley with a shove down and a quick call easily. Officials wanted to stop the clock here. And one final set piece. McMullen will come all the way to midfield here for Mercer.
And they're putting about all of their players up in the box on this one. Last gasp attempt here at the end of the half.
So 23 seconds left on the clock. McDowell, the quick head away. Flores clears towards the bench. 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7.
Mercer not letting up. Another try.
4, 3, 2.
That is it for the first half. A fun one here in Blacksburg. Hokies were down 1-0 early. Came back with a couple of goals right after that. Took a 2-1 lead, Josh, and really a fun showcase of
and try to get back into the game.
Coach, thanks for taking the time. Good luck.
Thanks.
So the Bears, the reigning SoCon champions, took the lead early on that Dylan Gaither goal. Hokies adjusted, forced a handball, and then the goal to take them up early. Danny Flores with a long shot to start it out, Josh. I think they were trying to do a little bit of the Dylan Gaither action earlier and catch McMullen sleeping. He was not.
I was going to say the exact same thing, trying to pull a Dylan Gaither off the kick from the center spot. That was a good idea because you could tell they were lining up for the long ball to all the players over on the left. Maybe you catch McMullen sleeping on that one. Good awareness from the goalkeeper.
Virginia Tech coming into this game had not scored a goal this year. Mind you, the year was only 3 games, but for the Hokies, a talented side that regularly gets into the NCAA tournament, that certainly feels like an eternity. Uzo in his 15th season as the Mercer head coach. Whistle blows. The officials coming out with the lime green today.
This is that highlighter green, isn't it?
Yeah, they look like they're about to film a pistachio commercial.
I wonder if they could get a sponsorship.
Right, they signed that hefty NIL deal with the pistachio company.
Everyone's cashing in.
Oh, that would be good for cashews.
I know, I was so close. Could not make it work with pistachio.
That was Blacklock. Oh, studs are up there. Dangerous.
Dangerous play. They'll get the free kick. That is the correct call on that one. Foot was way up there.
Oof. He flicked it back. A guard almost got a full boot. Another foul for Virginia Tech. Here comes a big set piece for Mercer, trying to equalize here. Trying for a head on the left side and missed the mark. So we started off this matchup giving out the Browns basics. Now, after a half of play, where do you think we are with those?
I think for Virginia Tech, they hit it out of the park. They scored. Capitals. They did it. Exclamation point. They got the goals they needed. And so far, they've been pretty solid on set pieces. For Mercer, we've seen a couple transitions. I think they could do better with that in this second half. They have played gritty, though. There's no doubt about that. They put in some good tackles and frustrated the Hokies from time to time.
Well, it's an interesting look with Kinyua and Yoshizawa on the field at the same time. That ball never went out of play. There's McDowell. McDowell off a deflection. Yoshizawa. And catch up to the ball. Here comes Jabang. And to thread the ball up to a guard to no avail for Mercer.
Brilliant skill, though, from Jabang. Slow it down, a little chop to get it back. We've seen him drive forward a couple of times and put in some solid challenges defensively, but his technique with the ball at his feet is also extremely, extremely good.
So, as mentioned, Kinyua and Yoshizawa on the field at the same time. What do you think that brings with both of them in the midfield for Virginia Tech at the same time?
Kinyua and Flores are going to drop in the center of midfield. They'll be the ones getting the ball, possessing, then getting it forward. And Yoshizawa is going to play in that right wing position where he can cut in on his left foot from time to time. We saw that so effectively in the first half with the goal from him. If he can cut in and curl that ball with some shots or some crosses in, it's going to be a good recipe for Virginia Tech. And Kenua really going to play that holding position for Virginia Tech. Flores will drop in where he needs, but Kenua is going to be the one who shields in front of that back line.
Going for Mercer as the rain continues. Shizawa regroups. Officials say play on. Arnoldson Jr. McDowell. Oh, what a header. Comes Blacklock towards the 6. That turned into a shot for Virginia Tech, bouncing into the grasp of McMullen.
Virginia Tech very happy to play the ball around and get into dangerous positions. And you see when they get the ball on the wing, it's almost like they get 3 players that sort of just are the bosses of that space on the field, where they're just going to interchange with one another, try and work that opening. On the left side, you've got McDowell, Blacklock, Flores will drift out there. And then on the right side, you've got Yoshizawa.
There's Connor Pugh. Will be a corner kick for Virginia Tech. Pugh, we highlighted him at the beginning of this matchup for the Hokies. Had a couple of headers very close to being pushed past McMullen for Mercer. See if he can join the mix here on this corner kick. And off target. Yoshizawa for Pugh. It's in the net. It's waved off. A push called on Virginia Tech. Hokies were ready to celebrate a 3-1 lead. Great ball in, but no goal for the Hokies.
Floated in like a feather on the wind, just dropping down there.
That's Deary.
Yeah, Deary with the arm in the back of the defender. If he doesn't push out there, that one might drop in anyway. There's so many bodies in front of McMullen. That service from Yoshizawa was in the perfect spot to make things difficult for everybody on the Mercer Bears defense. Unfortunate, if you're a Hokies fan, that Deary put his arm in the back.
Here's Vidal. Lofts a ball wide to the right.
Trying to take his chance there. I bet Vidal and Pugh are both thinking, this has got to be it. We've got to score in this game. We've seen the midfielders score. Let's get our 2 more attacking players on the stat sheet.
Vidal just joined Virginia Tech, played at CE Europa in Spain. Part of the professional academy there, grew up in Barcelona, Spain. A new journey in his soccer career to Virginia Tech and trying to adjust to the collegiate model of playing so many times in such a short period. Hokies played on Friday, now playing on Monday. And Coach Brizendine says that takes some time. And what we could really take away with our talk with Coach Brizendine this morning, there was no noticeable panic and a lot of confidence in his young group of players, despite the fact that the Hokies winless and goalless coming into this game.
They've been playing the right way. They've been possessing, playing their game, moving the ball into dangerous attacking positions. It really is the hardest thing in soccer, in my opinion, to get that finishing touch. And that's why goal scorers are always the best players on the field. That's why Messi and Ronaldo are the best players in the world. Maybe debatable now. They're getting on their later years. But that's why those types of players who score goals and can do it all the time are so sought after. It is so difficult, and it's a big confidence thing. If your team's confident, they can put them away.
Kevin Kim with the sliding effort, and now a foul call to Virginia Tech back in transition. I don't think Weldon Jr. is going to get away with this. Here comes the card. It is out. First one for the Hokies.
Agree with the call there. Great touch here. Right past Wellington. And it's the guy who's made it happen all day for Mercer, Dylan Gaither. Can't say enough about this player's skill with the ball at his feet.
So Kevin Kim sizing back each of the set pieces for Mercer, contrasting with what we've seen from Virginia Tech on the free kicks. Hokies have taken them quickly. Each time Mercer has done it, they are loading up very close. We'll have to see here if Kim tries to get this close to the net. And he will. Headed away. That was Deary for the Hokies.
Great service, but even better defense there to head that away.
Yoshizawa sprinting forward. It's Howard for the Hokies. And Pugh offside for Virginia Tech. Deflating call there because Virginia Tech was moving in transition.
It's a little disappointing for Pugh. Usually he's good at holding his line. He was caught up as the back line came up, and it was a breakaway opportunity there.
Comes a throw in for Tech. We talked about Yoshizawa, as we should, a freshman getting a good amount of burn for the Hokies. Talk about another young player that has rarely left the field for Virginia Tech so far, Grant Howard.
He's the type of outside back that is going to help you in the attack. Today, he's been a little bit more defensive. We've seen him get some touches in the attacking third.
Wow, crafty move from Weldon Jr.
I think you're right on with the amount of minutes he plays and the quality minutes that he gives to this Virginia Tech team. Grant Howard, we already talked about his club experience at the youth levels, playing with Atlanta United. You know that a player like that is going to have talent for you. Actually played with the Atlanta U19s in 2021 as well. Certainly talented. We've talked about that Georgia pipeline. Mercer obviously taps into that a ton. Mentioned it in the first half. I'm sure there's some players on Mercer that Grant Howard has played against or even with in the Atlanta Academy system.
Gaither for Mercer, the most notable name that's been able to make a difference here today for on the Atlanta United alumni side. Comes Kanua on the ground for Pugh. Pugh with the left foot. A straight roller to McMullen.
Liked the idea there to take one on, keep it low. Just didn't get enough contact with it to threaten the goalkeeper. You can tell Pugh's pushing a little bit, looking for that goal. He really wants one.
Flores colliding with Jabang for a split second. Tough pass for Vidal. What can Mercer do here? Towards net! And Martino gets his paws on it.
I think that's one of the best attributes that Martino has. Obviously the height, 6'6". He's great at getting up in the air though. Anything that you hang up like that on a cross is going to be his all day long.
The rain continuing, not giving up. Certainly at its heaviest point so far today. Dow slides, no call. And there's one. Foul called on Kenua. There's Ricky Vidal. Forward for Virginia Tech, still trying to find his first goal in a maroon uniform. Good ball, Pugh trying to stay on side. But here comes Vidal. Vidal! Just wide.
That was such a smart play from Pugh to let it go through. I think Pugh was offside. He was standing just past the back line, and he left it for Vidal to run onto with all of his speed. The idea was right. Keep it low, put it on frame. He's just a little bit off.
Straight at Yoshizawa.
If we go back to the conversation about players and where they've come from as far as recruits go for both of these teams, it is interesting to see the contrast between Virginia Tech and Mercer in that regard. Mercer, just so many of these players from Georgia. Pretty incredible.
Brad Russo thought that was a point of strength in recruiting, and you do look at this lineup that has really derived from Georgia. I mean, you see the player that scored a goal today, Dylan Gaither, coming from Lilburn, Georgia. Agard, both of them from Snellville, Georgia. Or the Hokies have dipped into the international pool of recruits.
And at the Division I level, you don't always see that they recruit in-state. Sometimes they find these pipelines in other states or internationally, and it's really up to the program and the coach and assistant coaches that you have that are hitting the recruiting trail for you.
Off of the bounce, McMullen slings the ball up. Kevin Kim. Jabang. Lifts the ball into the chin of Flores. A definite foul called there. So for Mercer, only 2 players internationally, most of them coming from Georgia. 17 players on Brad Russo's roster. Wide open, flag was way up.
That's got to be fun as a fan. If you're a family member who has your son or daughter go to Mercer, I'm sure they recruit in-state as well for the women's soccer team. It's got to be fun to go to games and basically be in your backyard for all of these home games that you go to.
And then maybe you kind of avoid by doing so, you don't necessarily get the issue of somebody feeling disconnected from home, or that homesick feeling when you first get into a Division I soccer dressing room. As Virginia Tech, the adjustments had to be made for a lot of these international players to try to make their way into the collegiate game. Lots of physicality, Josh. The whistle has not blown. Here comes Jabang. It's a track meet down the pitch. Deary making it difficult for him. And Wellington Jr. was there to chip the ball out for the Hokies.
Jack Deary, that defensive play was incredible. Jabang full steam going right at him, used his physicality, and I think Deary has been an absolute stalwart on the back line today.
That rarely came off of the bench even for Virginia Tech last year. We saw him in a big moment against Boston College in the first round of the ACC championships with a score in overtime. But Deary has not left this year. That's in the net for Mercer. The Bears have tied it up. Ile with a goal for the Bears, and it is knotted up at 2-2. And Josh, it gets all the more interesting now that you realize here in 2022, there's no more overtime.
And things seem to be going Virginia Tech's way for so much in this game. And a quick break, defense falls asleep for a second. Great first touch, and then just blasted it past Martino on the front post. They fell asleep, plain and simple.
Wow.
I think it was Wellington who just didn't track the runner, and Ile, all the credit in the world, just blasted it. Another Georgia product getting on the score sheet for his first goal of the season.
Now here comes a goal kick Lots of soccer left to be played. Hokies scoring twice right after Mercer scored the opening goal, but the Bears answering back here in the second half.
Michael Ille, another of these Atlanta United Academy members that came from the youth ranks there. He's also a U.S. men's national team U19 call-up back in the day. Made it to one of their camps. So another skilled, talented player. I think that's the thing, as I was going through the roster for Mercer, that impressed me most. These aren't just kids that played in Georgia. These are kids that played at Atlanta United, or in some cases were Gatorade Player of the Year in their state,
right.
All-state. Just the talent level is absurd.
Hokies trying to get back on top here with Blacklock with a footwork. Loose in front of net. Back in midfield. Deary! A disastrous touch. Can Virginia Tech's defense get back? Here comes Illy again. Bounces out wide. And we have been talking about how talented Jack Deary has been all matchup, but right there, that was almost a play that gave up the Hokies lead.
And a great strike from Ille there. Kept it low, fizzed it towards that back post. Martino was stretching for that one. That almost in the blink of an eye, too. This goal seemingly came out of nowhere. And then Mercer almost jumps back in front in the lead.
Comes Connor Pugh. Pugh getting tangled up. Hokies want a whistle. Nothing from the officials, and now a throw-in for Virginia Tech.
There seemed to be a good pull on his jersey there. I think the Hokies might have had a case on that one.
Kenyua, turnover. You can just feel a little bit more energy for Mercer. A whiff from Jabang. Kenyua getting the ball back for Virginia Tech. McDowell. The idea for this on the ground.
Virginia Tech looking to find the space to get the ball forward, and really possession just cycling back and forth between the center backs right now. Having difficulty finding that gap.
Bouncer right back to McMullen. Under 25 minutes left. Hokies looking for their first win of the year. Mercer trying to back out of Blacksburg with potentially an ACC result. Here comes Flores. Promising space. Slipped up on the pass. McDowell. Out to Blacklock. The cross.
Excellent service there from Blacklock. That was perfectly played in there. If Pugh was a step faster, he could have gotten his foot to it.
Another good ball. Arteaga stomping into the box. Martino there for Virginia Tech.
Great play by the goalkeeper. And like you said, that ball from Gaither was floated in there perfectly. Arteaga trying to get in there, make something happen for his team.
Vidal pickpocketed. Hokies maintain possession. Pugh's open now. Pugh trying to get a little bit of help. He'll force a corner there. Fresh legs coming in for the Hokies. Declan Quill. As well as William Cardona for Virginia Tech. So Flores getting a break. Vidal setting up in the middle. Can he find his first goal here to make the difference for Virginia Tech? It's Blacklock ready to take the corner. Blacklock, left footer. And another corner for the Hokies. So Ile coming around with the first goal of the season, coming off of the bench for Mercer, able to tie it up for the Bears. Blacklock towards net on the corner, but there's Ile. Saw that equalizer. Hokies, meanwhile, with another corner that whizzed by the heads. Pondeka has been pretty strong for Mercer in the back line.
The back line as a whole is very solid for Mercer.
It's McDowell. For Welnelton Jr. Pushed away by McMullen. Great play for the keeper there.
What a save from McMullen. That one was on the ground toward the back post. Great header from Welnelton, but McMullen equal to the task.
You got a clean head. McMullen able to push it away. That is not as much of a clean header as what we saw in the last play, as Junior was the target. And the Hokies will have to get back on defense here. A goal kick. 20 minutes left. Virginia Tech came into this one goalless. You can look up there on the video board we have here at Thompson Field. 18 shots, Josh, as compared to 6 for Mercer. And Virginia Tech and Mercer all knotted up at 2 apiece anyway.
This is the type of play that Mercer can make successful for them as they get into conference play and later in the tournament as well if they make it that far.
Jabang, the flag was not up. Martino has to get right back up and does. Kept alive. Out for Artiega with a right foot. Ball is loose, and the Bears have taken the lead. A stunner in Blacksburg. Mercer up 3-2.
And it seems like that backline for Virginia Tech twice now has lost their marks and hasn't tracked runners in behind. Kind of a weird, fluky ball across. Not sure if it was going to trickle in or not. And Martino looked a little gun-shy on coming out and trying to get to it either. Great finish there from Kadeem Agard, just be in the right spot to slot it away.
Well, Kadeem Agard, that's his second goal of the year. Had a goal in the opener against Winthrop, and now could it be the game winner against Virginia Tech?
Oh, wow. You talk about grittiness, though, with this Mercer Bears team. Down a goal to a quality opponent. Taking less shots, but finding goals any way they can get them. It's about how you finish those chances, not how many you have.
On the other side for Virginia Tech, meanwhile for Mercer, Usman Jabang trying to figure out what is wrong here for the star player for Mercer, but if you're Virginia Tech, plenty of time here, but you just have to feel absolutely stunned. And one could feel disheartened with how things have gone in these first couple of matchups for Virginia Tech. You lose after a game winner for Grand Canyon in the second half. Same for UCLA and potentially here for Mercer. So Jabang is down, and it looked like he got bumped.
A little hip check there from Vidal, I believe.
So Kadeem Agard was the man to sprint into the box. So that is quite a loss for Mercer.
And hopefully okay. He walked off without too much of a hitch in his step or anything, but that can't speculate on exactly what happened with the injury, but hope to see him back. An exciting player for Mercer.
Comes Blacklock for the Hokies. He says Yoshizawa. Another corner. And no, that is a goal kick, so the ball bounced right back onto McDowell.
Clearly disagrees with the call.
Right. So get another look at this. Sekou a guard with the defense. Even if McDowell has something to argue with there, a solid effort for the sophomore.
Coach Ruzzo told us before the game that he would describe this team as gritty. They'll grind it out. And what an effort from this team.
And just under 18 minutes away from a pretty sizable upset.
Yeah.
And down now for Mercer.
That one is going to hurt.
That's Kevin Kim.
Yeah, follow through there. Studs did not connect with the leg at all, so no chance for a potential red card on that play. I think it's the right call to be yellow. Just came in late. Foot was still a little bit raised. And is Kevin Kim wearing shin guards? That's my new question of the day.
Don't think so. No.
I think if they're in there, it's the toddler variant. That's the short look with the socks too. There's a few players that rock that. Jack Grealish for Man City tucks, but you can tell he has shin guards on. So he tucks the socks into the shin guards. That is just short socks and your shins at their own risk, I guess.
I think those socks with all the rain, they are dunzo after the rain that has pounded down here for about the last 6 hours.
And it's an interesting sock battle with McDowell and Kim. McDowell pulls them more up, almost over the knee.
Right.
The contrasting styles.
Substitutes coming in. Danny Flores right back in for Virginia Tech. Cardona jogs off. Oh, stopping the clock. Pondeka rarely leaves on the sideline. And Vidal is also returning for Virginia Tech. So Vidal calls for Blacklock.
And you can tell they're all drenched now. The close-up angle really gives you an idea of how wet it is. And we've seen a few players lose their footing. I'm curious to know if all the players are wearing steel studs or if some of them are wearing just the traditional cleats. I've seen a few at least that have steel. If you don't, you're going to be slipping and sliding the rest of the game.
The divot crew is going to be in full effect for the next few days. Hokies down one. Another chance in net. McMullen. Well, that goal that just flashed up there, the first one, Gaithers from midfield caught the Hokies sleeping. Martino was out of net.
think that's a good way to describe all of the goals against Virginia Tech. Mercer being more active and aware on a couple of these chances, and the Hokies falling asleep on defense.
Yoshizawa, wow. And I think to that point, Josh, could you say some of what Mercer has been able to capitalize on is the Hokies' youth and sort of some of that inexperience that is shown?
Well, you would hope that your defense, with so many of your older players, would be able to be disciplined and stay locked in the entire game.
Comes a guard. Martino boots the ball into the stands.
What I've been surprised with is Wellington Jr. a couple of times fell asleep on those goals. He kind of tracked his runner a little more loosely than we've seen in the past, and he's been such a solid player for the Hokies throughout his career. I think a couple of those goals he will look back on and say, I should have been better in this position.
Hokies with plenty of chances here in the next 14 minutes. Trying to equalize or take the lead against Mercer. Great pass. Here comes Kevin Kim. For a guard. Mercer wants a foul. They will likely not get it. They will not.
What a ball in that was from Kevin Kim. That was picture perfect towards the back post. Hope your runner's getting to it. And he almost did. The transition has been great for Mercer today. They've capitalized on a few of these chances and made life difficult on these Virginia Tech Hokies.
It's now a rare corner. And Yafo comes in. Tiega goes out. And Yafo, a name to watch out for. He did score against NC State. Another goal from Mercer could be potentially backbreaking for the Hokies. Kevin Kim to take this.
Getting it perfectly set up.
Deary there. Lost the ball. Whistle blows. Mercer not excited about that call. It'll be a free kick for Virginia Tech.
Oh, Coach Rouzeau on the sideline. He's out on the field.
Get another look at this. Whistle blows. The foul is called on Mercer on this.
I am a little confused about how that's against Mercer. That was good position there. Pondeka was in front of it. I thought won the ball and tumbled over. I'm with Coach Rouzeau on this one. And he's got a yellow card for his trouble.
And a yellow card goes to the gaffer in Rouzeau.
Definitely looking like a gaffer rather than a coach in this weather. An old English manager. Yeah, that one I'm still a little shocked goes the Hokies' way. And again, we talk about the grit, the determination from this Mercer team. They've gotten stuck in like that all game long.
Wide a throw in for Mercer. Mercer less than 13 minutes away from a big upset. You could call it that, but still seeing what Mercer has been able to accomplish in the last few years under Rouzeau's tutelage has been impressive, getting to the NCAA tournament. It also goes to show how tough Virginia Tech has made the schedule for themselves, moving into the ACC where more teams are ranked that are not, seemingly.
And the reason you schedule such a tough out-of-conference, you need to prepare for all of those top 25 teams that you're going to see. A team like Mercer is a tournament team every single year, seemingly, and every other team on their schedule is a team that could make the tournament. There's no easy games for Virginia Tech here early on. It's testing yourself so you can get ready for that ACC gauntlet that we've seen so many times.
And that just kind of shows where the rain is, and Yafo seems to be a good sport about that. He whiffed. Looked like one of those early Brett Favre passes when he still played for the Falcons. Blacklock into Flores. On the ground. Yoshizawa try with the left foot. So let's take a look at Virginia Tech's schedule. We got that big one on Friday against Virginia at 8 o'clock at Virginia. Wake Forest. Another name to really watch out for. The Demon Deacons consistently good. And then NC State, who we saw was picked to finish last in the Atlantic Division. I mean, Josh, you were able to sing their praises for the Wolfpack as well. I mean, that's a talented team.
I agree. That's a team that could also it's crazy to me every year we say it. Any one of these teams, no matter where they're ranked in the ACC, could make the tournament. Things break your way, and it could be possible. It's such a tough conference to play in, and I admire the approach from Coach Brizendine. Schedule some tough games early. See if you can play against some of these teams, and they've got to clean up some of the things we've seen so far. You contrast that with Mercer as well. Mercer not taking things easy with their early schedule.
Mercer drew against NC State, had a game against Georgia State they likely should have won. One against Winthrop in the opener. Here's Flores. Vidal. Blacklock. Wide to the left of the net. That was punched potentially by McMullen. And the whistle blowing here. A foul seemingly about to be called, but then no. You get into these moments here for both Mercer and Virginia Tech. The frustrations start to mount, and the game gets a little bit more sloppy. I mean, with Mercer here, we saw what they were able to do for those select 7 to 8 minutes, able to take the lead. What do you think they do here? Do they change it up in the final 10 minutes?
I don't think so. I think you play the exact same way. They've had the chance to transition every now and then. There's a chance they could get another goal in this one. They've just got to be careful on the break that they don't commit too many numbers forward and give away a goal.
Martino falls to the deck.
They've really been good in transition against Virginia Tech, though. Hokies have had to pass the ball around, play possession, get it out to their wings, and not go direct.
What a ball, and headed away. Had the idea for Yoshizawa streaking down the middle of the field. Was a flag up for a guard? No. Here comes Kadeem, a guard. Flores wins that battle. Right back at midfield, though, for Mercer. Hensley. Hokies with limited time. Howard. Corner kick. Virginia Tech, this is a huge chance. So many corners for the Hokies today. Yoshizawa will take it. 11 of them as opposed to 3 for the Bears. Off of the head and on top of the net. That was for Welnelton Jr. So we take another look.
Well, Milton again getting into the right area. They're targeting him so much on these corners. He's a great header of the ball. And somehow almost able to get the flick backwards on frame.
21 shots for Virginia Tech.
That really goes to show you soccer is a funny game, right? You can have as many shots as you want. You can have some good ones on frame. If you get 3 shots and 3 goals, that's a good rate. You've just got to finish the ones that come your way. Mercer's done a great job of that, capitalizing on those opportunities.
Kenny McGar trying to do it again here. Good pass into the box. On Yafo. Knocked away. Flores couldn't catch up to the ball for Virginia Tech. Dangerous move! Oh, and Mercer could smell the goal that would put them up for good.
Everybody falling over on that play, too. Deary slipped, and it was a chance for Reyna to get into the box, but Reyna as well fell over. The conditions now worsening. I feel like we're going to see a few more people slipping and sliding before the end of this one.
Connor Pugh, can he gather his composure for his shot? Not yet. A tough time conditions-wise for Virginia Tech to try to manufacture something to tie this one up. Vidal. Howard, gonna be a good ball. Hensley. Sliding effort for Hensley, no foul. Back up in midfield for Flores. And a throw-in coming up. So the Mercer Bears just 5 minutes and 10 seconds away from a win here. Upcoming matchups. But what a win this could be for their second one of the season. A couple of draws in a row. Coming into Blacksburg in the rain, down at half. Could it be enough to beat Virginia Tech?
Game at South Florida, a good test. I think a team that they could play against and do really well against in their next one.
Yoshizawa. Service in was rejected away. 4.5 minutes left. Comes Howard. McDowell. Blacklock bends the ball in defense there again for Mercer.
Starting to feel how the rest of this game is going to go. Virginia Tech's going to get the ball to their outside backs and try and work something from the wing to swing it in to their attackers.
It's McDowell. Yoshizawa. Blacklock towards the 6. Ball settling for Pugh. Hokies trying from another wing. Ball is in. That defense still so strong for the Bears. Kept alive a little over 3 minutes. Mercer hang on for an upset. Take the ball away. Cross midfield now. Deary signals to Martino to step back.
This is like artillery hitting a bunker right now. Virginia Tech just shelling the box from the wings, seeing if they can create a weakness somewhere, a header, someone getting into the box for the goal.
Here comes Yoshizawa. Back to the freshman. Blacklock now. Time running low for the Hokies. Flores slipped.
See how high pressed the outside backs are now, basically acting as extra wingers.
Blacklock kept on the ground. McDowell. McDowell towards net and headed away. Welnelton Jr. with under 2 minutes left. Loose pass intercepted. No whistle. And now for Mercer. Can they try to just control the ball on the other half of the field? Let's see if the Bears will just try to park in the corner. It is a goal kick. The Hokies with the ultimate sense of urgency here.
The grit and grind from Mercer has been incredible. We talked a lot about their attackers. The center backs today for them have been outstanding. Eldridge and Jackson have held it down for so long with so many of these crosses.
Into the box for Vidal. And now a corner kick. Hokies have to hurry. The last set piece likely for Virginia Tech with just 40 seconds left. Can Mercer hang on for the upset, or can Virginia Tech try to draw it here? Searching for a head. Out wide again, another corner. Hokies have time for this one. 20 seconds.
Look for Welnelton again.
And they find the Brazilian. Mercer heads the ball out of the box. Blacklock hits the deck. Goes out, 5 seconds left. Mercer can feel it, and the Bears come into Blacksburg down at half and upset the Virginia Tech Hokies. What a game for Brad Ruzzo's side. What a comeback, and Virginia Tech stunned here.
So impressed with this Mercer team to come into Thompson Field and get a win against Virginia Tech. What a win for this team. There's no other way to say it. They grinded out that win. They took their chances.